any trip that anyone goes on, there's always some sort of a bucket list that needs to happen. It's you need to do this, this, this and this, eat this, visit this attraction, that sort of stuff before you leave. The main point of this video is to tell you guys my Disneyland Paris bucket list. Now, my bucket lists don't always, they don't always get completed because I'm too busy doing other things and focusing on all sorts of stuff that goes on in the holidays. But I'm very, very determined to complete this bucket list. It's quite short, so I might be able to do it this next time. But I thought I'd let you all know what's going on. Now, here is my bucket list for my Disney 2019 trip. I want to do Tower of Terror. I use the word want pretty fast and loose there. I don't want to do it. I need to do it. I need to do it because I've never done it. It's the only ride that I've never done in Disneyland Paris. Every other ride I have done. I went on RC Racer. It was terrifying. And I survived. Tower of Terror just looks really, really scary and really tragic. And it doesn't matter who you talk to about it, because everyone has different opinions. I could talk to someone who said, yeah, I was really, really scared, but then I went on it and actually I really loved it. So you should definitely try it because you could be that person that really loves it. And then I think, oh, actually, yeah, okay, if you were really scared and you hate that dropping feeling, but you loved it, then I could do it. But then you talk to someone else who says, oh yeah, I went on it and I was really, really scared. And I got on it and I cried the whole way through and I threw up afterwards. Okay. Alright then. Great. So it's hard. It's hard for someone like me who gets super like anxious about going on rides. I don't want to queue for it. I don't want to be standing there for 30 minutes worrying, because I'll end up just crying and shaking and getting to the top and not wanting to go actually in it, and I'll end up just walking out the exit. So it's one of those things where I feel like I should get a fast pass for it. But then again, I also think I don't really want to go on it. Why would I waste a fast pass going on Tower of Terror? Like, yeah, it's tricky. It's really tricky. But if there is a very small queue, perhaps at the beginning of the day, I might try it. I might. If you're there at the same time as me, 7th to the 10th of April 2019, hit me up, because I need someone to drag me on it. Ryan's actually too nice. I would love to have a hot chocolate at Cafe Fantasia. Now, for those of you that don't know, Cafe Fantasia is the little kind of cafe bar that's in the Disneyland Hotel. And the Disneyland Hotel is obviously every princess's dream, but it's so expensive that I've never stayed there. It's far more expensive than any other hotels, even New York and Newport Bay, which are the kind of next level down. The Disneyland Hotel is far more expensive, and I'm not sure it's worth the extortionate prices. Obviously, I can't really comment because I've never stayed there, but I don't think it's really worth the amount that it's pitching. It's a right pull that it's at the beginning of the park, because you just literally go down and there you are, you're in the park. No walking required. But for the fact that you're sleeping and you're showering there, it's a really, really extortionate price for what it offers. But that being said, it's a beautiful hotel. It's so princessy, so regal, so fancy, and I would absolutely love to have the jazz pianist playing while you're having a hot chocolate in the middle of the day, watching the world go by from the window. So I'd really love to do that. So Cafe Fantasia hot chocolate is on the list for me. I think they also do crepes as well, so that might be an option too. I would also love to meet a princess. Now, this has been a very big part of my bucket list for a very long time, but it's so hard to meet them unless you happen to catch a meet and greet at the right time, an unscheduled meet and greet, or if you happen to want to queue up for 2.5 hours to see them at Princess Pavilion, which I do not. I don't have time to queue 2.5 hours when you've got a bucket list. So I don't like queuing any more than 40 minutes for a ride, and at the moment, apart from Crush's Coaster, I've never had to do that at Disney, because you kind of get to know the peak queuing times, and it all works out pretty well for you. So yes, meeting a princess is on my bucket list, but obviously if I'm going to be doing a Auberge de Cendrillon, which is Cinderella's restaurant, they have the princesses in the restaurant. So you get to meet the 2 mice from Cinderella, Perla and Susie, and you get to meet 4 princesses. Occasionally there's princes there as well, but you get to meet at least Cinderella and then 3 other princesses. So if we do end up booking that restaurant, which I'm pretty sure we would, on my birthday I will get to meet some princesses. So that's going to be a wonderful thing to tick off my bucket list, because who doesn't want to meet a princess? I certainly do. I also want to watch the parade. Now, last time we went, back in January, which was the kind of slightly disastrous trip, I didn't get to watch a parade because we'd scheduled in our little kind of timetable that we would watch the parade on Wednesday. We went Monday to Thursday, and on the Wednesday I was ill. So it's on about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and I was ill that day. I didn't go into the park at all. The most adventurous thing I did that day was took a short walk from Sequoia Lodge into the Disney Village for Ryan to get a sandwich, and then went back again to Sequoia Lodge. So that's like 10 minutes maybe I ventured out, and I was not happy about it. I just wanted to stay tucked up in bed. So yes, I was obviously unwell on the day that we meant to do the parade. And then the parade is scheduled for 5 o'clock. We were going to do on the Thursday, on our last day, but Ryan rearranged our meal at Captain Jack's, which was meant to be on the Wednesday, for Thursday as a little surprise for me, because I was gutted I didn't get to go to Captain Jack's. He arranged it for 4:30, which meant that we didn't get to see the parade. But we got to go to Captain Jack's, so that was very sweet of him. So I definitely want to see the parade, because it's a great way just to see all the characters, and it's great fun, and it's a proper Disney tradition, so I've got to go and see a parade. The next thing on my list is to watch Illuminations. Now, this is actually for Ryan rather than for me. I could happily go the entire Disney trip and not see Illuminations once. It doesn't thrill me. It's good, but, you know, I'd rather not. But he absolutely loves it. He thinks it's great. But I thought Dreams was better, so that was kind of why I'm less into Illuminations. I'd want to watch Dreams again, but Illuminations just doesn't thrill me. So when they change it again, I will happily go and watch it, and I will say, you know, let's try it out. It's not going to be as good as Dreams, but I might be surprised. Whereas Illuminations, I'm not fussed about it. So, but Ryan definitely wants to watch it, so we're going to do that on our last night, which is the Tuesday evening. We're going to watch Illuminations as our kind of final night treat for him. Because believe it or not, this trip is not all about me, despite what I like to think. I also want to, on the Tuesday, do the Guest Star Tuesday Parade. Now, I'm hoping this is still on in April. If it's not, it'll be a real shame for us. But every Tuesday, before the parade time, they have a little Guest Star Tuesday, which is basically where a rarer character, so they've had people like Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde from Zootopia, and Joy and Sadness from Inside Out, and Kuzco and Kronk from The Emperor's New Groove. People like that, slightly more rare characters, come out and do their own little kind of parade down Main Street, so everyone can go, oh wow, look at that rare character. So I'd love to do that. I'd love to see what rare character happens to be on our Tuesday. If it was Kuzco and Kronk, that would be so cool, because I love Emperor's New Groove. I'd be less fussed if it was something like Zootopia, but it'd be really interesting to see a rare character, so I would love to do that. Last but not least is which restaurants I would like to do. So this is the quick service stuff, the stuff you find in the park. Meals cost somewhere around kind of €12, and we've kind of discussed the ideas of which restaurants you might like to try for lunch and stuff like that. So Toad Hall, which is in Fantasyland, it's kind of in between Peter Pan's Flight and Meet Mickey Mouse. It's just in the middle there. And Toad Hall does double fish and chips, which is obviously Ryan's favourite thing ever, double fish and chips. I've never tried them. He tried them last year when I was ill. But because they do double fish and chips, we'd like to go there and test them out. Another restaurant that we quite like to do is Fuente del Oro, which is the Mexican restaurant opposite Thunder Mountain in Frontierland. Again, last time that we went, it was actually last January rather than the January that's just been. The one before that, January 2017. Ryan had fajitas there, but I wasn't very hungry at the time that we went there, so I didn't actually have anything. I think I had a couple of his chips, but I didn't end up having anything major. But there's so much good Mexican stuff on that menu, and they do really cool hot chocolates that were kind of cocoa themed. So yeah, I want to go back there to see what they have to offer that we can have. I'd also like to go to restaurant Bella Notte as well, which is opposite Small World in Fantasyland. And they do Mickey-shaped pizzas and lots of kind of like pasta dishes as well, lasagnas and bolognese sort of style things. It just looks really cute, and it's also right next to the ice cream shop as well. So I mean, dessert is sorted. Last but not least, in the restaurants for quick service, we would love to do a Casey's hot dog. We did it again the first time that we went together with January 2017, and I got a hot dog with cheese and crispy onions on top, and it was one of the most glorious things I've ever tasted in my life. And it was so worth the money and the wait. So I'd love to have one of them again. Casey's can be very busy, so I think it's probably one of those things that we'd get in an off-peak time. So you get it at like 3 o'clock rather than lunchtime or dinner time. So yes, definitely like to do a Casey's again. And also, having just thought about it, it's not even on my list, but I've just thought about it. I'd love to get a Mickey-shaped treat again. But I'd love to get like one a day. Think of the Instagrams that I could do. One treat a day. So there's definitely a Mickey cookie that's covered in chocolate that looks insane. And they do macarons, and they do marshmallows, and they do meringues, and oh, so much going on. Rice Krispie treats, all sorts happen. But my favourite has always been the Mickey apples. So it's like a toffee apple, but instead of toffee it's chocolate. So a chocolate apple. And it's just glorious. Absolutely love it. And I'd love to do one of them a day. Some sort of Disney treat a day. So that's another thing just to add to my little list. Now I'm sure in the next 6 months or so before we go, there will be other little bits that I'll come up with and go, oh, I'd love to do that. And of course, as usual, I will update you guys on any changes that happen in our trip. But for now, that's the plan. I've just had a thought. This isn't even my bucket list, it's Ryan's. Ryan's never done Casey Jr. or the cute storybook ride next to Casey Jr. So he has to do them. They're on Ryan's bucket list. So yes, that's now the end of my video after I've finished remembering everything that I need to. Thank you so much for watching once again, and I will see you guys next week for the next vlog. Bye!